Hello, everyone. It's been such a privilege and pleasure to be the part of such wonderful event as F5. My name is Kzrysztof Sobieszek, and I'm responsible for agency cooperation at CE region at Meta. It's been a while since we have been a part of this prestigious event, and the last time it was my colleague Maxim Osipov representing our company, and he received such wonderful trophy. I really hope I can get one too after today's presentation. With that, we're gonna kick off. I will be talking about AI today, and I bet you've heard all about AI during the past few months since the explosion of ChatGPT and following tools connected to this wonderful technology. But what I'm gonna focus on mostly would be not exactly the future of AI, but more like the current usage and impact, the way you can leverage AI tools on Meta platforms to generate growth for your businesses. And this business part is actually, in my personal opinion, very important factor why AI is so popular, why you cannot open your fridge with no AI info related to it. Because obviously this rapid rise of AI technologies is the one part, but next thing is a context, and the context is all of us are being on a constant business pressure of delivering better results with sacrificing less resources, and we've been seeing this across all over the verticals with a lot of our clients. Basically, we need to deliver much more with much less. And this is exactly what AI promises. Better results with less time or generally less resources. The MIT research on productivity with AI tools usage showed that only in programming and writing, usage of generative AI could increase productivity at about 50%. And to put it into perspective, with 18th century, a small factory was introduced to the steam engine, the overall increase of productivity was at about 25%. So imagine how much productivity impacts the AI promises and why we are focused on it so much. And of course, with that, we can see all those tools emerging within the last few months. Essentially, especially with marketing, we have AI tools already present for anything. You can brief your agency with AI. The agency can respond to that brief using AI. You can create whole brands with the key visuals and overall brand book with AI tools. You can generate thousands of personalized images or videos. You can prompt your copy in terms of your creatives along all the marketing platforms you are using. And of course, if you can imagine any task, there will be AI for that. Still, with that, AI remains the tool for the single usage, even with something like ChatGPT. When you think you can use it in a variety of ways, which is true, but still, ChatGPT or any conversational model or tool would be actually doing one thing in a very, very efficient way. And with that, we can see that people would be still crucial and very important in terms of how we will implement AI in our everyday strategies. Of course, first of all, humans need to determine which AI tools to use. As I said, there's going to be hundreds of them underlined by different huge AI models. It will be crucial to determine which AI tools we'll be using for different tasks and how we can combine different marketing tasks. As we all know, the marketing is pretty sophisticated activity overall. Also, right now, we need to be very conscious of how we are prompting AI tools to receive the best results. Personally, I don't believe that prompting will be the it will be a profession of the future. I would rather say it's going to be capability or skill of the future. I mean, all of us would need to accommodate this skill to some extent, like one day before we needed to accommodate the Google searching, for example. You can still do it a little bit better or worse, depends how your skill is. And I think the most important part would be how to determine if the already used, chosen, and prompted AI tools would deliver the results we are aiming for. Because still, we have the situation of AI generating different results in terms of the task you will be assigned to. It also varies to the task, but also vertical, but also specific brand situation, everything. So it's crucial to being able to put some scrutiny behind this tool usages and be able to determine if it's work best for our brand in very particular use cases. One of Meta VPs responsible specifically for AI development, he constructed very simple, in my opinion, very robust definition of AI tool. In his opinion, AI programs, it's the piece of a code that can write itself based on being shown good and bad examples. So that's the simplest definition you can have. So it's might seem like a magic, but it's a very advanced math with a very simple idea behind, in fact. And it's been with us for many years. I won't be boring you with this history of AI. So when the logic theory, so the first machine trying to simulate the human logic thinking, or the first chatbots trying to convince our scientists that they are humans, like Eliza chatbot, to the part when AI had beaten Garry Kasparov at chess, we will be still focusing more on this so-called AI 2.0 era, when we have this huge rise of many practical tools for everyday usage with a very powerful AI programming behind. And with this era, marketing really plan to increase usage of such tools on everyday basis. According to Deloitte, it will be 166% of increase in terms of different AI tools usage in marketing overall. It's going to be used to the variety of reasons, like automate customer interactions, data integrations, personalizing customer journeys, automating the processes we are putting on our everyday marketing efforts, and everything that goes behind it. So it's a really variety of possible use cases we might think of. But what I want to stress out that Meta has been very, very actively present with this 2.0 AI era from the very beginning. Since we've introduced the feed to the world in 2006, which was literally AI powered and AI generated, we've put significant effort into making a word impact on AI tools evolution. We have so-called fundamental AI research, in short, FAIR, led by Jan LeCun, one of the godfathers of AI technology overall, which is practically our research and development team focused solely on developing those technology, not even productizing it in terms of Meta platforms, because we have different teams to do that. Only like a pure research and development led by Meta in this world. And from these initiatives, we had a lot of very, very practical tools which been already accommodated across the digital industry all over the world. The examples would be PyTorch, which is the most known and famous machine learning framework. You probably didn't know that, but you have come across the PyTorch-based tools in your life. For example, if you have drove Tesla, most of the machine learning processes in Tesla car would be driven using PyTorch. And of course, the latest developments Obviously, Llama 2, which is our large language model introduced as open source, which is a very important in comparison to the different projects you can see on the market. Also, segment anything model as a different example, allowing you to one-click segmentation of any objects from any photo or video. You can test it out on our aimeta.com platform. And I think the latest one would be Seamless M4T, which is multilingual model for translations. Currently, it works on almost 50 languages, being able to translate speech to speech, text to text, text to speech, and however you want it to go. So you have a variety of tools accessible from Meta. Most of them are licensed as open source, so you can really like test it out, play it with. And we really see the responsibility that comes with us being, as a platform, one of the 4 leaders in the world, leading the ground fundamental research on AI. Of course, there's a lot of very practical examples we can put under this fancy word responsibility, but we really treat it very, very seriously. For example, in 2021, we had removed over 1 billion facial templates because we believed it would be unethical to use it to train our AI models. We have actively working variance reduction systems, which essentially it works for being able to remove bias on our platforms, ethnical, gender, or any else bias you can think of. Our AI is really calibrated to avoid such thing. Hasher Matcher Actioner, even though it sounds like a doll you can buy to your kid on Christmas, it's a very serious piece of software, also available of open source license to every digital platform to avoid spread of terrorist-related content. And I could go on with the list, but we don't have a time for it right now. But all I wanted to show that we are really being the part of the fundamental global research and development on AI. We feel a really strong responsibility that comes with it. We've generally investing $30 to $33 billion in terms of our capex. Majority of this would be related to AI development. Currently, our R&D would be around 30% of our total revenue in 2022. And again, to put it into perspective, the last time we've spent 30% of our total revenue on research and development, there was a year when we were moving from desktop to mobile. So we perceived AI revolution as something similar in terms of importance. And as far, it's going pretty good. We are able to do both, connect people in a very efficient and engaging way, and also being able to connect people with brands. Here on this chart, you can see the percent of our users that shared its content at some of our platforms the last month, and on this horizontal axis, you can see the percent who clicked on an ad in the last month. So as you can see, even because the size of a bubble would be overall size of our platforms, being able to preserve our scale, we are still very efficient with connecting people and connecting brands with people. We are in fact much more efficient than any of our competitors in that term. And we are developing our AI solutions for essentially 2 reasons. The first reason is about being able to expand our base of content recommendations, because traditionally all the Meta platforms were relying on something we call connected content. The connected content are basically recommendations or the content, actually, not really recommendations, but context you're getting from your friends, from things you like, from the brands you like. But AI gives us the huge opportunity to rely also on this broad scope of content, which is similar, but not necessarily comes from your friends, from the brands you love, and so on and so on. Something we could call unconnected content. And the aim for us is to double the volume of unconnected content by the end of 2023. Right now, it's around 15%, slightly more on Instagram as a platform, but still, as you can see, like huge majority of the content you are getting from Meta platforms would be this connected content. And we want to really capitalize on this AI opportunity that we are getting to get it more equal, to be able to expand this content base we can deliver to our users. Nevertheless, it's not our aim to rely heavily only on unconnected content. What we think is a competitive advantage of Meta platforms would be relying on both connected and unconnected content kind of equally, because we know that on the different platforms, unconnected content accounts for the vast majority, like 80-something% of all content recommendations. We want to remain balanced and still preserve this social part of our unique flavor as Meta platforms. And the second reason, and the second area we are developing AI tools, would be specifically about rebuilding our ad stack. So the way we are delivering performance to our clients, brands, they are active on Meta platforms. We are doing this in three ways, in three areas. One is, of course, infrastructure, to ensure that we have efficient infrastructure to serve all the advertisers, all the partners we have on our platforms. Modeling, so to ensure the accuracy of models we are using for and underlying our ad solutions, and experiences. So basically, it's about tooling you are having access to as partners. And again, it's been working pretty well with our last investments. And I think the killer stat here is with this 20% more of conversions on the platform year over year, and decline in cost per acquisition. So just by developing our tooling with the AI advancements, we were able to deliver 20% more conversions at the lower cost. So I think that's overall pretty impressive stat. Our AI approach to advertising is actually reflecting our belief in ad or media evolution, because it used to be the case that we were buying ad space, and I bet like many of you remember those years when we were buying simply space. Then with a programmatic advancements, we were moving into buying audiences, and with that comes paradigm of being able to really micro-segment the different audiences to acquire data, allowing us to look at our audiences in a very, very detailed and precise way. But we believe that with AI comes the third era, you might say, in advertising, which is about buying outcomes, not much focusing on the way you are achieving your results, because that's going to be more and more delegated to the algorithms. They are becoming better, more efficient. So with that, we'll be focusing or defining outcomes and allowing algorithm to deliver it to you. And that's actually might seem pretty intuitive, but it's not in everyday work. So the simplest framework we can introduce in terms of using AI on actually any kind of a platform, but of course with the Meta platform tools, it's fuel and freedom. So only two elements or two guiding principles you can remember about using AI tools. Fuel, it's about providing the right input. So if you look at the typical elements of every campaign, you can think of, so the data, creative, media, and measurement. Fuel, it's about providing input, the right input in every of these pillars. For example, you can deliver the best possible data, fueling your campaigns. In terms of creative, you need to provide diverse spectrum of motivations of creatives, mobile first, mobile centric creatives. Like, you need to make sure there is the right diversification here. In media, you need to be very, very clear about objectives you are inputting to the system. So the communication goals align perfectly with the business goals you have behind every campaign you are running. And with measurements, it's about learning agenda that identifies key business questions and plan to test and incorporate insights. I think even less intuitive is the second part, or second underlying rule we can mention here, which is freedom. As soon as you are sure that you provided the right input to the algorithm to help you run your campaigns, you need to leave the right amount of freedom to the algorithm to operate. And it's not that much intuitive for us, because we are used to being in the full control of the campaigns we are running. We are really accustomed to make those little tweaks, optimizations, as frequent as it's possible to really prove our impact on the campaigns we are running. And we think there will be less of that with AI development and AI algorithms. For example, if you look at the so-called learning phase, this is how we call it on our platforms, if you're optimizing for conversions, for the system to learn the best possible way to run the campaign, it requires minimum 50 conversions. If you change any campaign settings before that, the learning phase would start again. So it's really good to be patient in terms of letting algorithm to learn. Of course, with creative, we need to allow the system to adjust placements the way the algorithm thinks is the best possible way. Also with audiences, we need to let the system to determine which audience would be the best to achieving specific results on the platform. And with measurement, we also need to minimize the human bias in terms of our measurement efforts on our campaigns as much as it's possible. And I will give you some examples how it can play out with the tools that are currently available on Meta platforms. To provide the best possible signals to your campaigns, our current best fitting solution would be Conversions API. And the Conversions API, you can think of it as a direct connection between your first-party data, so your servers and Meta platforms, to ensure that the signals you are having as a client really corresponding with the campaigns you are running on Meta platforms. So there is a seamless connection here, and you are not losing any signals that might help to optimize your campaigns. We are seeing tremendous increase of results if you look at the clients who already implemented the Conversions API. We have a special tooling for agencies that are able to help help their clients with that, called Conversions API Gateway. So if you don't want to implement it yourself, working with Meta platforms, you can reach out to the agency or reseller you are working with, and you will definitely get help in Conversions API implementations. We can see 13% improvement in CPA with Conversions API, and 33% increase in incremental purchase events. So actually the conversions you might observe in our platforms when this tool is implemented. Also with data, you can look at this learning phase I was mentioning before. And it's really, really crucial to let our systems to learn how to achieve the best possible outcome. As I mentioned before, to give them the right diversification of data, of placements, of possible target audiences, and then just let the system to determine which works best for the result you want to achieve. We observed 19% lower CPA for all ad sets that successfully exited the learning phase in comparison to those who haven't. And also all the different gains you might have with properly running learning phases, even though it sometimes might be very, very tempting to really tweak with the campaign settings right before that, and rely only on your experience with meta platforms you had before. Of course, going back to creative, right now everyone knows that like prompting a dog wearing a superhero outfit with a red cape or whatever you can imagine, it's relatively easy. With many tools you can do it right away. You can also generate any video from the text prompt or another image, so you can make pretty interesting videos only from images. But with that, we might say it's probably gonna be available on meta platforms one day, but not yet. We need to be sure that we are delivering the solutions at scale, that are working properly, they are trained on the right data sets, so we can use it. So it will take a little bit of time, but still, right now, you can use many AI-supported tools to really help you with your creatives on meta platforms. The examples would be Advantage Plus Creative, allowing you to tweak a little bit in terms of your creative, sometimes dynamize it a little bit, only using the system, making different variations. So it's really intuitive tool, nice to play with. The different example would be dynamic branded content. So whenever you are running a branded content campaign, you can allow this setting for the system to determine with each impressions that should be served from the brand page or maybe influencer page or creator page you are associating with this campaign. So we don't need to determine it manually. System will determine the best fit for us. Currently, we have a lot of MVPs, so Meta Business Partners, already experimenting with making even hundreds of creative variants to be used in the campaigns with a very simple and intuitive tools, and really like experimenting with this technological support under your creative work really works. Because we can observe 32% of increased efficiency versus business as usual activities with your creatives, 9% of increased reach, and many other gains you might have. But on such an event, probably the question arises, okay, we want to see something new, something that is coming, maybe it's not there yet. And I think the very good example would be this AI sandbox, which is in alpha phase, so we might expect it to be available soon. What you can expect with this AI sandbox, first of all, supporting your text efforts in terms of the meta creatives you are using, so you're being able to input the raw plain text to the tool and receive some suggestions how to make the right text copy through your to your creatives. Also diversified it a little bit, so you don't need to do it manually. You won't need to do it manually anymore with AI sandbox tool, the sandbox tool. Backgrounds, which we observed that have a pretty huge impact in terms of your creative performance. You also be able to generate it with the AI generative tools, not necessarily input it manually. So we believe it's going to be a huge help in this creative diversification work. And also image outcropping. The first time I've heard of it, I needed to check what what does it mean to outcrop? I'm not a creative, so I didn't know that, but just cropping any picture, which is a very intuitive for many years for us, sometimes causes a different problems to adjust our brands to fit different placements. And with this tool, we are able to actually expand the picture to the right placement size, which allows you to be still in line with the brand book you are provided to. Not necessarily multiple graphics you can input to the system. System will adjust with expanding pictures to the right format, even if the picture is not in the right format yet. If you look into this media part, as I mentioned before, the crucial thing is objective. The clear objective you are putting behind any campaign, because AI system will be able to learn to optimize, as I mentioned before, based on bad and good examples, but according to the single criterion. Because AI system doesn't know what does it mean good or bad. It only knows what does it mean to be efficient or not in terms of a criterion you are giving to the system. So you need to be very, very specific. And when you have a very specific goal already chosen on Meta platform, you can really allow the system to do a lot of automated work for you. And all those tools, I've already give you one example, which is Advantage Plus Creative. Actually, there are the package of 12 tools called Advantage Plus Suite. So you can automate, for example, the placements. I think the very important automation is automating your targeting. So maybe resigning a little bit from inputting your target audiences manually and allowing system to propose you with some automated audiences for your campaign. And we believe it works very, very well, because sometimes you are really missing some opportunities in terms of target audience for your campaign. For example, my wife would get an ad of a perfume for women, because obviously she would be a target audience for a particular campaign. But maybe in some cases I would not be included in this campaign, but I'm currently looking for a nice Christmas present for her, and probably it will be easier for the system to also include me in this targeting for particular campaign. Usually the system would be much more efficient than the manual work on your target audiences. And I think the most important stat here on this slide is that media buyers, we were asking about it, declared a significant, 77% of them declared significant save on time they are spending with setting and optimizing campaigns. So we think it's a very, very good thing to achieve, because we can redirect this energy to the different tasks. We have a lot of them in our everyday work. I think if we talk about this automations, our most advanced product in this area is called Advantage Plus Shopping Campaigns. So basically, when you have a sales goal, so you are selling something online, for example, and that's your very specific goal you want to achieve, you can go with ASC Plus, as its product is called in short, and it's basically about automating everything. A lot of creatives, placements, audiences, and allowing system to fully prove its potential with ASC Plus campaigns. We still recommend to run ASC campaigns along with the business as usual campaigns to determine how it works for your brand. We believe it works very, very well with overall decrease of CPA of 17%, 32% bigger return of ad spend, and 25% improvement in cost per incremental conversion. So our results are actually stunning, but we encourage you to test it for yourself. As for now, it's gonna be the state-of-art AI-fueled ad product you might want to check out on the Meta platforms. And last but not least, measurement, because I've mentioned that the measuring AI efforts would be crucial. The same as measuring efforts we are generating with AI in different areas, but also using AI to enhance the way we are measuring our campaigns. And examples here would be, for example, creative diagnostics. We've already have some of Meta business platforms being able to, Meta business partners being able to analyze not only particular creatives, even though they are very, very diverse, but also the parameters of the specific creatives to really tells you what is really working in terms of different creatives and what is not. Obviously, we'll be using AI tools more and more to make a better predictions in terms of the results we want to achieve. And of course, this the holy grail we are aiming for is lifetime value. For example, lifetime value of a customer. We'll be able to predict it more and more. But the example I want to share it the most with you would be about marketing mix modeling. So probably you already know this method. That's as far the best method determining which channel in particular influence your sales, to what extent, and of course building this econometrical, so marketing mix models usually requires a lot of effort. It takes some time, some analytical skills to do it. It's relatively expensive if you look at it this on the market on average. So with that, we developed something that, in our opinion, revolutionized the marketing mix modeling. In my career, I was running the research department, also offering MMMs, so I already know what I'm talking about. Because usually you're making only a few models to determine which one has the best fit that explains the variance of your campaigns, of your sales in the best way. But with Robin, our open source marketing mix modeling tool, we are able to generate hundreds of models and automatically decide which one fits the best to your current brand, to your current activities. So it's a huge help for any analytical team to run the MMM modeling, because it's been possible to run over 100 marketing mix model and determine which one is the best. But in my opinion, no one ever done it because of its efficiency. Right now, with the right AI tools, we are able to really do it and to put the marketing mix modeling to the next level. We have a pretty appealing cases. For example, in CE region, with the Yota Data Science Agency, we are able to check how Robin really works. They've used it for the marketing mix modeling for one of its FMCG clients, and eventually be able to run the calculations 3 times faster, save almost 3 days of work of whole analytical team, and gain 20% reduction in modeling time. So it's really impressive results. We encourage you to really check it out. It's an open source tool. It still requires some analytical skills. It's not like a drag and drop one click tool to use, but with some analytical skills, you'll be able to improve your capability in that area significantly. Last but not least, I was mentioning this checking AI generated outcomes, and really believe this scrutiny would be crucial. And for that, you need to run lifts, mostly conversion lifts, but any kind of lift you can measure on Meta platform. We believe that our clients, our partners, would need to make a lot of them in the upcoming future, because that's the only way to determine how those tools, which examples I gave you in this presentation, can really leverage particular brands' growth. Because obviously I can present to you the aggregated scores that globally Meta have and use for our estimations, but it's the best tactic to really determine it for yourselves. As we are saying, don't trust us fully, test us. Check if those tools are really working in your particular situation, because that is what we need to do with all the AI tools we are using, not only on Meta platforms. And with that belief, we are encouraging you to really testing this with the lifts, for example, conversion lifts available on Meta platforms. Summing up, along the journey we have while planning campaign, the AI tools can really help us accomplish the goals in a very efficient way. It's already available. You can use it right now. You can use it for upcoming peak season in Q4, and we are encouraging you to do that with data, for example, with conversions API implementation, with creative, so providing diverse creatives fueling your campaign, with media using Advantage Plus suite, and with measurement, for example, running conversion lifts, and this form a nice roadmap you might have for 2023 Q4 AI practical usage for your brand growth and your performance on Meta platforms. Thank you very much. Really excited to be here. Love the F5 event. And with this heart, I encourage you to be in touch with us and to use Meta platforms for your brand's success. Thank you very much, and see you in the future.